The discussion on 2023 presidential election may have started as soon as the 2019 presidential election was conducted and won. It's still a whole 2 years ahead, but the jostle and horse trading for who gets what has started in earnest, with questions like, will the APC zone the presidency to the north again? Or what direction is the PDP taking zoning to? Let's dig deeper as we ask these questions and explore the more critical issues relating to the presidency in 2023. Welcome to Fireworks on TVC News. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Today we're reaching you from the national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party, and my guest is the National Publicity Secretary of the opposition party in the country, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan. Mr. Kola, of course, is a senior colleague, and it's always an interesting challenge that I like to take on whenever I have him on the program. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Bukola. Good afternoon, and welcome to Abuja once again.
Once again. So, it's many waters have passed since we got here, but the issues pretty much remain the same, particularly as it has to do with the fortunes of what was known to be the largest political party in West Africa at the time. Still in Africa. It's debatable. It's debatable now. The issues will unfold as we begin. So let's start with some sober reflection. In the last decade, big names like former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Chief Barnabas Gemade, former Minister Chief Audu Ogbe, Jim Nwobodo, Orji Uzor, they have at one time or the other deserted the party that they helped to found. When you pause to think about these issues, I'm sure you do, party leaders do once in a while. Do you have cause to regret about the actions of the party when it held sway at the helms of power for 16 years or thereabouts?
I want to say that the party and Nigerians have moved beyond regrets. And I say so clearly because even the government that was brought in as a replacement has morbidly failed. And Nigerians have been pushed to a point of despondency in a manner that people begin to wonder, was it worth it after all? Was life not better than this? If PDP had continued, could we have found ourselves in this abyss? That is the stage that Nigerians are. And you will recall that even in the last presidential election, some of the names that you have mentioned turned around and worked in the interest of the candidate presented by the People's Democratic Party. As such, you can see the situation in which as a people we have found ourselves. And I often say this with a reflection on such situation where I come from, Kaba in Kogi State. And I say always that Nigerians have lifted the oil and they have lifted the water. You cannot decipher which is heavier. And it is clear that looking at where we are coming from, taking a look backwards and where we are today, I think Nigerians largely believe that life was better.
Well, there was despondency too at the twilight of the last PDP administration. Perhaps the issues were in varying degrees. There was insecurity as well. There were issues relating to the economy as well. But let's take the conversation forward. What is the party's plan for zoning where 2023 presidential election is concerned? That is uppermost in the minds of political pundits and everyone who is expectant about 2023.
Well, let me quickly state that yes, we had our share of this issue of insecurity in the past, but it wasn't as awful as it is today. I'm sure you flew from Lagos to Abuja, and I know for sure, perhaps for the purposes of adventure, you have preferred a road trip. But today, you can take that. So let's leave that and go into the issue of zoning.
We'll get to that
you have raised. On the issue of zoning, the People's Democratic Party is a structured political party, and our decisions are very procedural. We don't act on spur of the moment. As a result of that, our party has not reached a position on zoning. We are listening to narratives. We are listening to discourse. We are listening to opinions. We are allowing people in their respective zones to make their feelings known and to make their agitations before the various
Does that
organs.
listen into narrative include spying in on what the ruling party may be
No,
planning to do?
No, we don't need that. We don't need
before you take your own action.
We don't need a ruling party. The ruling party has its own body.
But their decision also depends hugely on the direction the PDP may want to take. And we have lessons from history to refer to.
It's their own responsibility to spy on us. The feeling of Nigerians out there is that, or the members of their party that they have put in the public space, is such that North has done, a section of the country had already done 8 years, or will be rounding up its 8th year in 2023. So such people in their own party have the opinion that power should be allowed to transit to another zone. That is as their own party is concerned. They have that burden, they have that responsibility, they have that duty to their own consciences. How they manage it is their thorough, as Nigerians want to say. But what I'm saying is that in our own party, because we are very procedural, that we will take into account the various variables before a decision will be reached by the various organs of our party in respect to the direction that we will go into.
What are those variables?
I just told you that those variables will come out of the narratives, they will come out of the discourses, they will come out of the agitations at respective zones, and the organs of the party will sit down and situate these issues and say this is the direction that we will go. For us in the PDP, we have not reached that stage.
Let's leave vagueness. Some members of the Southeast have threatened, from your party, have threatened to follow their brother, Governor Dave Umahi, who left for the APC, to the APC if the presidency is not zoned to the Southeast come 2023 in your party.
I am not aware.
You are not aware.
And I can
Perhaps because
say,
they are in safety, also trying to be vague and not coming out with their identity as well. But I'm sure you know them, even Bukola, if you would rather not.
I can clearly say to you.
If you'd rather not tell us who they are, but you know them.
I can clearly say to you, Bukola, that the unity of purpose in the People's Democratic Party transcends the innuendos that we are heading in the public space.
Really?
Yes.
Unity of purpose?
If there
was unity of purpose, would Governor Dave Umahi leave for the APC?
Governor Dave Umahi gave his reason for leaving. For us in the PDP, based on what he told the party, it is largely personal. His decision was largely personal. And so we leave him to that decision.
Let's read, as we reminisce on what Governor Dave Umahi said. He said they dumped the PDP for the APC to protest perceived injustice and marginalization of the Southeast by his former party. What are those injustices? And since his exit, have they been corrected?
We have no injustices in our party. And I can clearly tell you that what we are trying to do now, Bukola, is to reopen old wounds. Governor Dave Umahi has gone to where he believed that his intention, his purposes will be met. We are waiting
which is what I'm asking about.
We are waiting and we are watching.
They want the presidency to the zone to the Southeast, but the PDP is taking too much time to make his decision.
Well, I like that assertion. PDP is taking too much time. You didn't say that PDP has refused to walk to his demand. You didn't say that. You said we are taking too much time.
That was the first or second question I asked.
As far as we are concerned in the People's Democratic Party, we are a procedural political party. We don't act on impulse. We have to talk among ourselves. We have to hold discussions before we arrive at a decision. If, like you said in your own words, Bukola, that PDP was being slow and he was in a hurry and he had left, where he went to.
Oh, so you think he was in a hurry?
As a decision,
at least those are your own words.
As a decision being taken, in respect of zoning, where he is now, have they taken a decision? The answer, as you and I know, is
it's
no.
not available yet. Not available yet. But do you agree that the southeast zone of the country has been loyal, has been faithful to the PDP through many elections, offering support and delivering on election promises through the years? Do you agree?
I remember you asked me a question about what are those variables. And you are providing the answer. The variables in our party include issues that you have raised. And like I said, at the appropriate time, at the fullness of time, all these
That's
issues,
not the answer to the question.
Do
you agree that the Southeast Zone has been faithful
I said you have
to the party?
You have asked me earlier that what are those variables? And now you are providing answers to those variables.
It's a question.
And I am saying that, and I'm telling you.
It's a question.
And
it requires a yes or no answer. Has the Southeast Zone been faithful? And I'm going to add another one.
At the fullness of time.
Does it deserve the 2023 presidential ticket come 2023?
It is not in the place of the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party to say that a particular zone
But you can
is eligible or is ineligible. It is the duty of the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party to announce the decision that will be taken at the fullness of time, going through all the various organs of the party. That is when the National Publicity Secretary is mandated by the party to speak.
But do you agree that the Southeast Zone has been faithful to the PDP?
As we are at this moment,
over the years.
It is not yet the fullness of time. And because it is not yet the fullness of time, we are going to wait. We have a responsibility.
If we left out Anambra,
to wait for the fullness of time.
If we left out Anambra, look at Enugu State, Abia State,
yes.
River State.
Yes. Is River State in the south?
River State is in the south. Yes. But let's look at Abia, Enugu. Yes. These states, Imo State until recently, yes. Have these states been faithful to the party in terms of support, in terms of delivering on electoral process in the past
When you talk about faithfulness to the party,
yes,
the South has been faithful to the party. The Southeast has been faithful to the party. Until 2015, the North Central was faithful to the party. Until 2015, the Northwest was faithful. So we have various levels and degrees of faithfulness to the party. And I've told you that at the fullness of time, all these issues will be put into consideration.
So
when
is the fullness of time?
Eh?
When is the fullness of time?
Before we get into 2023.
Before we get to 2023. So would it be somewhere along the road in 2021? Or somewhere along the road in 2022?
When the party, you know the People's Democratic Party is a very, like its name connotes, is a very democratic political party. And we are not open to manipulation as a political party. At that fullness of time, Bukola, you will even call me.
Who is manipulating the party?
You even called me to say that, oh, was that the fullness of time we were talking about one day? And I will say yes.
Okay, if you think Governor Dave Umahi was manipulating the party when he presented his position or blackmailing the party, as some of your party leaders have said, what do you think about his concerns? And these are some of his words. I'm quoting him now. That how does it work where over 8,000 delegates will be voting, and as such, promises cannot happen within more than 10 or 20 people or so, being very mischievous about that. Now, talking about delivering on the presidential ticket.
Honestly, and I say this with every sense of responsibility, I don't understand what you are quoting. What is the subject matter of that quotation? There are 8,000 people.
How many delegates are going to decide on the presidential candidate?
Yes. So what is wrong with that?
Will it be those 8,000 people that will decide? How democratic will it be?
See, look.
Let's not forget that there's some primaries not to
I don't know whether
that were conducted recently that turned Ori within the PDP.
No. I don't know whether
in the South.
I don't know whether Governor Mahi actually used those words. But I would find it very strange if he did. Governor Mahi, I remember, was either the deputy chairman or the secretary of the National Convention of the People's Democratic Party in Port Harcourt in 2018. And that primary was adjudged to be freest in the history of political party internal democracy in our country. In the annals of our political history, that primary was considered the most credible. He was either the secretary or deputy chairman. Until date, he has not faulted that process. Like I said earlier on.
What about the governorship primary that produced the candidate of the PDP in Bayelsa State not too long ago? How free was that?
It was very free. Bukola,
but some candidates disagreed about
Bukola,
the freeness of that primary.
Let me give you two serious examples. And I've mentioned one, the National Convention of 2018. In the last primary of Ekiti State, where Governor Ayo Fayose put forward his deputy, Professor Eleka, and Senator Adeyeye was a candidate. It was so free and fair, so much that even Senator Adeyeye came back before he left the party and said he has fulfilled his dream and his commendation for the party.
Why don't you want to talk about Bayelsa?
I will get there. The commendation for the party was that he participated in an election that was free. In Bayelsa, it was free and fair. And I do not need to lie. Why are we going to be lying about this? It was very free and fair. But it is just like Adeyeye, after declaring the election as free and fair, deserted the party and went on a sojourn. In Bayelsa, the other candidate went to court and lost.
I'm glad you're acknowledging that.
He went to court and lost in court. But he's still in the People's Democratic Party as we speak. So as far as we are concerned in the PDP, we will continue to uphold the tenets of fairness and justice as given to us by the founders of this party. Because in truth, this is the only party in our country that is truly democratic. That's the absolute truth.
You are going to have to leave it to Nigerians to decide on that. We'll find out how democratic it is and what are the fortunes of the PDP in the coming days as Nigerians look forward to the 2023 presidential election. You're watching Fireworks on TVC News. My guest is the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan. Stay with Fireworks. We'll be right back. Today, our focus is on party politics ahead of the 2023 presidential election. And it's been an interesting conversation so far with the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Kola Ologbondiyan. What are the fortunes of the PDP, particularly with so many defections from that party to the ruling party in the last couple of months, and not forgetting the ones that have preceded that before the 2019 election, presidential and general election. Thank you for remaining with us.
Which direction are you talking about?
And that's where I'm headed. I know you're going to contend the defection.
Which direction are you talking about?
In October, some 200 members of our Nyocha local government from the PDP defected to the All Progressives Congress in Anambra State. And don't forget, before that time, in February 2019, the PDP lost about 3,000 members to APGA in Anambra South Senatorial Zone, Nnewi South Council area.
You were there physically, and you were there physically.
That is a continuous depletion.
You were there physically,
of the membership
and you counted the members that deserted the party.
What exactly is the case?
It's incorrect. As we speak today, as you and I are talking, the candidate of APC in the last gubernatorial election in Anambra State, John Nwoye, has left the party and joined the People's Democratic Party. And if he left APC and joined the PDP with his teeming and large supporters, and we are talking about a report, a newspaper report or an online platform report, claiming that 200 people left the party. And now we are talking about the candidate of the APC.
But is that not a political suicide?
We are talking about
former candidate of the APC.
Is suicidal for APC, not for PDP.
The PDP has not held power in Anambra State for a long time.
It's suicidal for APC.
What are the chances that the PDP will hold power, will take power in the next election in Anambra State?
In Anambra State. Go on a visit.
Knowing that it hadn't held power for
go on a visit to
16
Anambra
years.
State. You see, what you must understand, Buki, is that today, Nigerians, having suffered so much from the misrule of the APC, are looking at the other way. They are seeking the alternative. And that alternative is the People's Democratic Party. And it's occurring, it's happening in every state of the Federation.
Well, that's your
Anambra is not an exemption to this.
Of view.
I want you to go, I want you to leave Abuja, I want to leave Abuja
testifying to the success stories of the APC
with a conviction
in some other states.
That PDP is taking Anambra. Certain. No argument. Because APC has failed. The people have lost trust in ABGA, in Anambra State. So the only party that can provide hope, and that is giving hope and driving towards a successful election.
But that is not the narrative. That is not the narrative coming from Anambra.
It is the narrative that is coming out of Anambra, and I want to challenge you, and I will even sponsor a trip for you to go to Anambra and go and feel the ground and come back and report the progress. You will be surprised to find that PDP is leading in that election.
But are you also aware that there are reports that the All Progressives Grand Alliance in Anambra is planning to join forces with the APC in that state?
It makes the matter worse.
In order to retain the state.
As a matter of fact, that would
but are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of it, but as a matter of fact, if they did, if ABGA did, the matter is worse for APC. APC had rather gone to that election solely and lose than to allow ABGA to join them. Because there's so much distrust in that system of APC and ABGA. Who's going to take them serious? After failing woefully, nobody's going to take them serious. So the hope that the PDP is providing now in Anambra State is the elixir for a successful election for us.
I'm glad you talk about seriousness. Who is going to take the People's Democratic Party seriously if it is true that there are plans for the leader of your party, at least in terms of hierarchy, former President Goodluck Jonathan, defects to the All Progressives Congress? Who's going to take your party seriously?
I don't know.
If former Minister of Aviation, Chief Femi Fani-Kayode, defects, if it is true that he's planning to defect to the All Progressives Congress?
I don't know why you are fishing from rumors mill. Why? You just go into a notion of rumor. You just enter into a notion of rumor and you are fishing.
It was rumor when former Governor Dave Umahi was threatening to leave the party. And I remember that you said on a certain national television platform that it was not true that he said that it was irrevocable, that he was moving to the All Progressives Congress, that you are still talking. So at that time it was rumor, but it was confirmed when he left.
When a man of the caliber of
it will no longer be rumor when it is
a man
in
of
fact
the caliber of Governor Dave Umahi
that these two stalwarts leave your party.
A governor, a two-term governor, a former deputy governor, a former party chairman makes a pronouncement. What would be your reason for doubting it? But now that he has slept, are you aware that he's already thinking of whether he should find his way back? Is
that a rumor?
It can't be a rumor. We don't speak to rumor. But just wait, just like you have said.
So you are hinting us on this platform about a legitimate
just like you said
a legitimate
when he said he was leaving, that it wasn't a rumor. Okay, I'm not telling you too. I'm not telling you to that. Have you heard also? Because I have heard that he's thinking of coming back. So let's wait and see.
So are you giving fireworks a scoop?
No. Let's go to the issue of Goodluck Jonathan that you raised. Goodluck Jonathan had been everything possible in the on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. And I believe, just like the party also do, that he's political savvy enough to know that APC that destroyed him is not worth its membership. We believe so in the People's Democratic Party. And you are speaking about Femi Fani-Kayode. Femi Fani-Kayode said he was not going to APC. So you want me to say that he's going? Is that what you are saying? So people are just fishing in an ocean of rumor, saying that, oh, this person will leave. And we know why all
Former
this.
President Goodluck Jonathan lost an election to the APC.
We know
Is that
why,
tantamount to experiencing destruction at the hands of the APC?
We know why. We know what they did to him now. We know what they did to our party. We know what they did to former President Goodluck Jonathan. But having said that, I want you to understand that APC is playing all these mind games because their projection in their revalidation and registration exercise has failed. It has collapsed. That is why they are playing all these mind games. Oh, 10 governors are coming. Oh, 15 governors are going to join us. Oh, 4 governors are going to join us. Where are they? And because they can't find anybody, they now began another mind game, which is to go and the people who have become from PDP 20 years ago, they recreate them and make them look anew that they have captured. They captured nothing. They are just busy chasing, wasting resources, wasting for. And you know, was it Asiwaju Baba Kande that said it to them that look, given the state of our nation, given the economy of our nation, you are wasting fund that is meant for development, fund that is meant to help Nigerians. You are busy using them as cheap adverts on pages of newspaper. You are busy using them as television adverts. The people are walking the streets hungry, no hope, despondent. You call that a party, and you say we should be worried about them. You wait and see. You will see the kind of turnout that the e-registration exercise that the PDP is working on will attract. It is then they will know that even before the election, they had lost the election.
Let's move forward with the challenges of the PDP. Who is the leader of the People's Democratic Party in the Southwest?
Well, I don't know how much of the operational system of PDP that you understand. Leadership in the People's Democratic Party is a mark of respect. It's not a constitutional provision. But there are people that have attained certain level, in the echelon of power, that are conferred by the support base as the leader. In such manner, when there are issues, such issues are referred to them. But as in constitutional provision, it's not in our constitution. For instance, in the church, you have elders in the church. I don't think there's anywhere in the provision of a church that say that this person is an elder. But people attain certain levels in the society, and they are referred to as elders or leaders. That answers your question. That
doesn't answer my question. Who is the leader of the PDP in the Southwest?
I provided you the insight to the working of the party. If you have any other
I'd like you to provide me with names as well. Who is the leader of the PDP in the Southwest?
No, I cannot provide you names. You understand? I cannot provide you names. Governor Makinde is the only governor, Governor Seyi Makinde is the only governor of the People's Democratic Party in the Southwest. As such, people would defer to him.
So does your answer support suggestions that there is discord between members of your party in the Southwest?
On issues bordering on Southwest, people will go to him. Oh, so is happening.
So does your answer support suggestions that there is discord between leaders of your party or among leaders of your party in the Southwest?
There is contestation for power that is creating a sort of disagreements among the leadership of our party.
Please name the leaders. Who are the leaders?
Or within the leadership of our party in the Southwest. Certain. There's no argument about that. But you must also know, and if you don't know, I want to make you to be aware that the National Working Committee constituted a committee on national reconciliation and strategy headed by Senator Bukola Saraki, and it is already, their committee is already intervening in the issue of the Southwest. And I want to leave it at that.
I'd not leave it like at that, sir. What is the party doing besides that to resolve the issues between Governor Seyi Makinde and the Vice Chairman Southwest, Chief Eddie Olafeso?
Well, you are creating a new issue. I'm not aware that they have issues.
What is also perhaps maybe the reason for contention between the former governor of Ekiti State and the governor of Oyo State? Who is
the former governor of Ekiti State and governor of Oyo
Chief
State?
Ayodele Fayose,
and
the governor of Oyo State.
I've told you that issues bordering on contestation for power is leading to disagreements within our party. And the Senator Bukola Saraki's Committee on National Reconciliation and Strategy is already intervening.
But
what else do you want?
But what are they reconciling? What is the point
the
of...
issues now, the issues.
What are the issues?
The issue,
if the party is going ahead into 2023
the issues concerning
with, and you have
operations in the Southwest, and we have set up a committee that is intervening and seeking reconciliation, and even at various levels and organs of our party, reconciliation is taking place.
If the party is going ahead into 2023 with discord in a zone as strong as Southwest, discord among leaders of the party, then your positioning to win the election fair and square in 2023 is just wishful thinking.
Forget it.
Because the leaders that are supposed to carry the party to victory are not united.
Because I don't believe that you have the facts in this matter. There are 6 geopolitical zones across this country. And there are issues in 1 out of 6. And the party has quickly moved in by creating a committee that will intervene and resolve issues in the zone. In order for us to be able to carry along and pull together the 6 geopolitical zones. And as you know, it's only the People's Democratic Party that is truly national, that has
a contest for power,
of a governor at least in the 6 geopolitical zones.
But at this stage in the history of the party, should leaders be contesting for who leads the power in the Southwest, or rather should be concerned with consolidating the fortunes of the party in the Southwest?
What is the essence of politics?
Are the sentiments not
what is politics
primordial sentiments?
What is politics all about? What is the essence of politics? It's contestation for power. The moment you take that away, maybe it's the church or an NGO.
So are you spurring, are you encouraging the party leaders with this kind of
even in churches, there are contestation for power. So, but at the nick of time, people will harmonize. They will come together. There will be interventions. People will say, no, okay, what do you want? This is what I want you, this is what you want. Okay, how do we make ends meet? How do we resolve this? And at the end of the day, party progresses. It is human in nature. There's nothing anybody can do about that one. So as far as we are concerned in the PDP, we have done what is needful, which is to ensure reconciliation. And I have assured you, the Saraki Committee and other various levels and organs of the party are working on the situation in the Southwest.
Well, I hope your position on this is not encouraging the seeming rivalry between and among leaders.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But we also hope that the committee comes up with something firm that will resolve the issues.
I can assure you of that.
As we custom, what are your thoughts on the continuing rising insecurity across the land? Many say that the opposition of the PDP in that regard has been hollow, unlike what the APC provided when it was in opposition.
Well, you must know that what the APC provided in 2014 and 2015 was brigandage. They had no suggestion, and I challenge anybody to bring any suggestion made by any leader of APC on how to curb insecurity pre-2015. Nothing, nowhere. But the People's Democratic Party, we brought this democracy. We have a responsibility to this country. We are the ones who understand the nuances of this nation. And as such, when we make constructive criticism, we also provide solutions. Unfortunately, we have a government that seems to be deaf and dumb, who is all-knowing and who doesn't take into consideration the opinion and the views of the opposition.
But that is not.
That is why we are where we are.
The president has given the service chiefs ultimatum to perform. That shows that the presidency is listening.
We should stop politicizing this issue of insecurity. You are talking about the president giving ultimatum. In time past, as the president also said that within a period of time, that there will be an end to insurgency. Have you not read? Have you not heard presidency sources claiming that within a period of time, they even put months sometimes, there will be end to kidnapping, there will be end to banditry, there will be end to terrorism. Has it ended? And for us in the People's Democratic Party, we are making suggestions to government. Ordinarily, for Mr. President to review his parade, it took years for him to listen. So where do you think all this has pushed us to? It has pushed us into an abyss. And that was responsible for the despondent situation in which we have found ourselves as a people. So when people say, oh no, you are not protesting, you are not, the People's Democratic Party will continue to provide constructive opposition. When we need to go out and protest, we will go out to protest. But Nigeria must also understand that our nation is at the precipice and that we cannot do the kind of brigandage that the APC did in 2014 and 2014.
You call coming out to protest brigandage?
If we do that, we will not have a country. And it's our wish, because we know that we have a responsibility to provide hope to the people to ensure that we have a nation.
So what are your thoughts on the increasing calls for dialogue with bandits?
Well, we have made various suggestions to the government and to its party, the All Progressives Congress. We have called for invitation of mercenaries because it appears that the military can no longer cope. They haven't taken that into consideration. Even Professor Zulum, the governor of Borno State, has also made similar demands. We have suggested the carrot and stick process. The government is not listening. When President Bukola Jonathan was in office, he built schools for itinerant traders. What is this government doing? Nothing. No policy direction, whether domestic or international. Nothing. They just wake up every day, sit down at FEC, award share contracts among themselves, like putting over 700 billion on Abuja-Kano Road, as if the road is going to be laid with gold. That's all they do in their FEC. And we are saying no, as opposition. You need to respond to the desires, to the needs.
Well, in terms of sharing
Nigerians.
contracts among themselves, you have to back it up when you make
how can you say that you are going to build a road at the cost of 2.12 billion per kilometer? Where in the world? Go on Google now. The world is a global place. Go on the world and go and check whether there is, and convert it in dollars and see whether there is a country in this world that will award a kilometer of road for 2.12 billion. A kilometer.
Let's go back to insecurity. You talk about mercenaries, but there is the concern about the loyalty or disloyalty that cannot be guaranteed from the mercenaries, and then the cost of using mercenaries.
President Bukola Jonathan invited mercenaries in 2014, leading to 2015. That was how insurgents were forced to the fringes of the Northeast. That was why elections held in the 774 local governments of Nigeria, because we are not at risk. And we are saying that if we have tried the system and it worked, why not bring back the same system? But you know, the government, like I said earlier, is like a deaf and dumb government. They don't listen. They are only satisfied with what they are doing. And at the end of the day, you discover that they are doing nothing, absolutely nothing. We suggested the issue of carrot and stick. Have they deployed that? Goodluck Jonathan built schools for itinerant traders. Where are they? Are they functioning? If they are not functioning, what is responsible for that? The body language of Mr. President has not shown a unity that is required in our country. We have suggested this, but will they listen? At every stage, the People's Democratic Party, based on our own experience, because there's no political party in the annals of our history that's as experienced as the People's Democratic Party. And none understands the nuances of our nation like the People's Democratic Party. But when we make suggestions, do they listen? They will just be talking about that 16 years, 20 years, 30 years. How has that helped the cause of our nation? For a general who promised to lead from the front, and today he's hiding in the villa. And Nigerians are losing lives on a daily basis. You cannot travel by road from here to Kaduna. You cannot go from here to Lokoja by road. There's palpable fear on the faces of every Nigerian. So what do we do?
It would be wrong to say Mr. President is hiding in the villa because he's responding to national
Where do you see
issues.
As we
continue to move forward, it was revealed.
Of all the abductions that happened,
it was revealed.
Yes,
and I'm glad you're talking about abductions. The presidency advised against paying ransom. The presidency advised against paying ransom. Advised state governors against paying ransom.
What of empathy?
Where that is concerned,
what of empathy?
Isn't it a shared responsibility between and amongst governors, either APC or PDP, who negotiate with bandits and pay ransom? PDP inclusive.
PDP did what?
PDP inclusive
did
in
what?
Terms of negotiating and paying ransom to bandits.
So when
children are kidnapped from schools.
When Governor Erufai started paying ransom in Kaduna, what did Buhari say? President Muhammadu Buhari. What was his reaction? When in his own home state in Katsina, Governor Masari was paying ransom, what did he say? It was only when Matawale was said to be intervening that it became an issue and there was no fly zone. And the party said, no, you don't do that. You don't use a body language that communicates disunity always. That you need to ensure that whatever approach you are going to take on this security, it must be holistic. You cannot say because a particular state belongs to your party, they do things that are wrong, you gloss over them. When it comes to a party that is a state that doesn't belong to your political party, you take action. It does not all go well. And that was the disposition of our political party, the People's Democratic Party. So what we are saying is that, look, yes, no fly zone, if it will help the situation, all right, but make it holistic. Don't say because it is a PDP state. Nasarawa State, there's mining going on in Nasarawa State. Every circumstance that necessitated a no-fly zone in Zamfara is also in Nasarawa State. There's been more kidnapping and abduction in Niger because these are APC states. What has the president done? And they said that we are politicizing. What are you who has politicized it more than the APC? Who has politicized the situation more than the APC? As we speak, show me one statement or one remark that the APC as a political party has made to even assure Nigerians based on the situation that they have thrown us into as a people.
That began prior to 2015.
You're talking about began. When it began prior to 2015, were the insurgents not chased to the fringes of the Northeast?
And when it comes to negotiating and dialoguing with insurgents, there is a history that predates
what we are saying.
The All Progressives Congress.
It started with APC. And we are saying that when it started with the APC governors.
Are you saying the former President Goodluck Jonathan did not dialogue with insurgents?
I'm not aware. What I'm aware of is that mercenaries were brought in. And you can remember, part of the brigade that I was talking about, APC leaders came out that those mercenaries were brought to come and kill them. Maybe you have forgotten. You know, one of the problems with our country is that we forget easily. Very easily. We don't remember what happened before. These same leaders came out then and said, oh, these mercenaries have been brought to come and kill the opposition. Every step that the PDP took to make sure that they fought insurgency and banditry, they were opposed to it. The People's Democratic Party is not practicing that. We are only making suggestions because we have the experience. Look in this direction, follow this path. But will they listen? Are they even aware? These are the issues.
So, will dialogue now, as we custom, be the way forward? What is the morality behind dialoguing with bandits? Or what is the more enduring way that will lead Nigeria to the path of peace and take it away from the seeming dangerous precipice of tension between ethnic groups, particularly in the southwestern part of the country?
Mr. President is the commander-in-chief. He receives intelligence on a daily basis from every security arm of this nation. What are the intelligence reports that he's getting? And what are the suggestive ways that are contained in those intelligence? And what are the approaches of government in respect of those intelligence? You don't come to Wadata Plaza and come and ask me to provide intelligence. Because security operatives and the various security agencies don't report to Wadata. They report to the presidential villa, to Mr. President.
But
I'm being a general.
But Wadata,
I'm being a general.
Wadata
who promised
is the structure that provides opposition for the party,
front, that he
for
will
the
lead
nation.
Nigerians out of insurgency. He should take maximum advantage of the intelligence available to him and secure our nation. Because the basic responsibility of governance is security of lives and property. And any government that failed to achieve that has failed.
But still on the issue of dialogue, relating to that, your party actually launched amnesty in 2015. Would it be the way forward?
Amnesty for which group?
Amnesty?
For insurgents?
No, for amnesty for...
amnesty for insurgents?
For militants in the Niger Delta.
Amnesty for bandits? Amnesty for Sahelians? Mr. President told Nigerians, perhaps you guys have forgotten. Because the only problem...
Because it is on the strength of that Northerners are asking for amnesty.
It's not Northerners. I don't like it when we begin to locate this matter between North, West, South, East. No! We are talking about criminals.
It's not with the intention of promoting tension, but
I was raising a very valid point.
But talking about it as it is. I was raising a very
valid point, which is that Mr. President told Nigerians that the people who are invading our territory, who are terrifying our people, are the people from the Sahel. Are they Nigerians? Are Sahelians Nigerians? If Mr. President came out and told us that these are Sahelians, these are people from Sahel, non-Nigerians, are they the people you want to go and do amnesty with? Are they the people you want to go and dialogue with? Look, I come from a community where there are Fulani who were born in my age, whom we have lived together, who speak my local dialect, who make proverbs in my local dialect. And we have interactions. And we ask them, are you people turning against us? They said no. They are not the ones. But the people who are doing it, they are not part of us. But we cannot talk. If we talk, they will kill us. Is Mr. President saying that if an ordinary person could get this intelligence, that all the agencies of security who are paid with taxpayers' money have not provided such intelligence? And if they have provided such intelligence, of what use have they been deployed? These are the issues that we must face. It is not enough to say, oh, we locate it within the South, oh, it's a Western problem, it's a Northern problem. I don't see it that way. But you know, as a party, the People's Democratic Party has a duty and a responsibility to continue to preach ethnic and religious harmony. And that is just what we are doing.
True. And a valid point.
And that's just what we are doing.
But if the commentary is that Your party launched amnesty for militants in the Niger Delta in 2015. In fact, dating back before that
President
time.
Buhari should launch amnesty for
how would you respond to that?
For foreigners who are invading our nation.
But Northerners disagree with that.
For foreigners who are invading our nation.
Those in the
forest.
Mr.
President, go and Google. Mr. President said
those in the forest are Nigerians.
But Mr. President said that Sahelians are invading our country. He said the people doing this, some of them are from Sahel.
So are you calling for a census so that in the north they can differentiate the Sahelians from the Fulani who are actually Nigerians?
I do not know.
Would that be satisfactory?
I do not know how they go about it. What we know is what we are suggesting to government. If you have bandits, if you have a set of criminals attacking people and killing people, allow the law to apply. That is the position of our party. Criminals, irrespective of where they come from, whether they are the same parents with me, if they choose crime, they should face the wrath of the law.
So
this is my own opinion.
How can the problems of economic distribution of resources leading to conflicts continuously between farmers and herders now pushing further down south, how can this be tackled holistically?
It's simple now. What is wrong with introducing grazing? What's wrong with that? We believe as a party that we should look into our laws and what is the provision of our laws on issues like this. And if there are no provisions in our laws, the National Assembly has a duty. It has a responsibility to sit down together and create statutes that will help our nation out of the situation we have found ourselves.
Oh, we could go on and on with these issues because they are myriad as much as they are complex. But let's leave it here for now, knowing that we always have you to call on when next there are issues to discuss.
Thank you very much, Bukola.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan.
Thank you, Nigerians, for watching.
Yes, National Publicity Secretary, People's Democratic Party, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, has been my guest today on this edition of the program. We urge you to join us again same time next week when we bring you another edition of Fireworks. On behalf of the crew, I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Bye for now.